Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with a brand new video. Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 worst drivers in F1 in the noughties, or since 2010 basically. If anyone that doesn't understand what the noughties is, it's a weird word, isn't it, the noughties? Is it just something that the Brits come up with? I don't know. But anyway, we're going to be talking about some of the worst drivers that are in F1 over the last 5 or 6 years, and let's jump in straight at number 5. Sakon Yamamoto. I mean, there's not much to say about this guy. He didn't have a long time in Formula 1. He wasn't particularly quick. He had 7 races at the end of the 2010 season. I think he replaced, was it Bruno Senna or was it the other guy? I can't remember. HRT back then were a little bit of a disaster. So were the Virgin team. So were the Lotus F1 team back then. None of them were particularly good. But Sakon Yamamoto comes up, in my opinion, out of all of those drivers at the sort of bottom end of the grid. He was the worst. He was basically there because he had a load of money and he could pay to be in that car for the rest of the season and basically help HRT survive a couple more seasons. They jumped in at that sort of season and thought, yeah, this will be fine. And I think they got real about halfway through the season, like, yeah, we have no money, lads. How are we going to survive? So basically, they get a pay driver in, and they luckily do manage to survive it up to the end of the season. But yeah, it didn't go too well for them. They had 2 more seasons of unsuccessfulness in Formula 1, and then unfortunately they left the sport. But yeah, not a great start. Sakon Yamamoto, even though he was a bit of a lad, he was good and funny to interview. Unfortunately, not the best of Formula 1 drivers. Oh, next up we've got Narain, big Narain Karthikeyan. Now, it's a tough one because at one point he did actually score points in F1. It was the most illegitimate race of all time back in 2005, United States Grand Prix. He got 4th place of 6 drivers, but still he got 4th place, so he got some points. But so that's basically his only ever points in Formula 1 were on that day, and it's surprising that he managed to finish that race, to be fair. But overall, Karthikeyan, he's a bit of a meme in the F1 community, isn't he? A little bit of a meme, and I bended a sort of whole series, the Cucumber Challenge, a couple of years ago on him, which was a hilarious series, and he has become a little bit of that sort of meme character in the whole F1 community. But he has to go on the list because he wasn't particularly quick. He had 9 races at the end of the 2011 season, and also the whole season. He had the whole season at HRT in 2012. And I remember there were loads of funny stuff going on at school. I was at secondary school when I think that season was going on. Many memes went about of Narain Karthikeyan, let's just say that. So the next person on my list is the guy that seems to have somehow just appeared in Formula 1. He hasn't really done much, but he's managed to sort of keep going for like a number of seasons. And before you say it, it's not Adrian Sutil, so please don't have a go at me. Adrian Sutil was the best driver ever, right? Anyway, so Esteban Gutierrez, he seems to have got into Formula 1 in 2013. Yes, he had an incredible teammate in Nico Hülkenberg that year, but he didn't really prove himself, except I think 1 points finish in Suzuka, if I remember correctly, was his only points finish that season. Then 2014 he wasn't particularly good either. 2015 he had a year out as Ferrari test driver, and 2016 he had that year at Haas, which wasn't particularly great either. He didn't score any points, and in comparison to his teammate Grosjean, who had a great season, scoring a decent amount of points for a team that was not very good, he definitely looked overshadowed, and they definitely thought there's not much point of keeping Gutierrez. And even though he does have big sponsorship behind him, he didn't really deliver the goods. He didn't deliver enough for them to keep him on for next season. So that's a tough one for me to include. I actually really like Esteban Gutierrez. Yes, he wasn't particularly he basically showed a lot of his raw emotions in the 2016 season, which was frustration, which I guess Grosjean showed as well. But the thing is, Grosjean sort of has proved to us that he is a very good driver, where Gutierrez hasn't really proved to us as of yet that he deserved to be in Formula 1. So even though I like Gutierrez, I have nothing against him. I have nothing against any of the people on this list. As I said in a previous video, I have nothing against any F1 driver, but I need to make these lists somehow. I need to sort of compile them without sort of the clearest mind possible, that I'm the most unbiased I can possibly be. So unfortunately he has to go on the list, and one of the worst drivers in the last 5 or 6 years, just because he never really proved to any of us that he was really deservingly enough in F1. Deservingly enough F1? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It didn't really feel like, to us at least, he deserved to be in Formula 1 on his past results and then what he actually did when he managed to get here. So guys, I should mention, I did actually not decide to put the lights on for this video. I don't know whether it's actually made any difference whatsoever. I think by the look of the camera, it wasn't too bad, but I think the fact that the sun keeps going in and out behind the clouds, it probably looks like one shot I'm fine, I'm like perfectly lit, and the next time I'm sort of half face lit again. I need to just put the lights on, I think, for next episodes, because otherwise it just looks a little bit silly. But let me know what you think. I think it does not look 100% great here, but I just thought I'd let you know. That's why it might look a little bit different in this video. That's why, yeah, maybe not quite the quality from before. Anyway, Next up, I think you guys have been waiting for me to mention this guy, Maldonado. Like, I was thinking through, and there are lots of drivers that didn't really prove much in the back end teams, and I was going to include more of them. I mean, we've got people like Van der Garde, we've got people like Charles Peak. They didn't really ever show a huge amount once they were in Formula 1. They were okay, but nothing spectacular. They never really ever shone on a great performance. Like, for example, Jules Bianchi, we saw on a numerous amount of occasions he really did shine in that Marussia. They didn't ever really seem to do that, but I thought it's not really fair for me to put them on the list because they were in the worst car, and maybe if they were in a mid-table car, they might have had a chance of more points. So that's the reason why I went for Maldonado for this next one, because he had 95 races, 96 entries in Formula 1, and you guys know why he's on the list. Lots and lots of crashes, lots and lots of repair bills for Williams and Lotus, the teams that he raced for, and even though I have nothing against Maldonado, I definitely think he gets a lot more bad press than he deserves. He definitely wasn't a great F1 driver from most weekends to the next weekend. On his weekend though, he was incredible. He won that race in Spain, he was incredible. He also had a couple of other races that season where he was really good, but then got involved in an accident. So it's a tough one to call. Maldonado, he had the raw speed that maybe on his day he could match the likes of the Hamiltons, could match the likes of like the Alonsos, in the right car at the right time. Like, all of the variables had to come together on like the 1 in a million expectation, like the 1 in a million chance that it was actually all going to come together. He probably could match them on his day, but that day never came again. It only came on that one day in Spain, and the day before, obviously in qualifying we managed to get second, then get first, thanks to Hamilton getting disqualified. So it never happened again. Maldonado was insanely quick, but also insanely clumsy, I guess is the right word. He was just all over the place sometimes, and that's why I think unfortunately he has to go on the list, even though he did get a race victory. And you might think, how can somebody that's got a race victory be on the worst F1 drivers list? You got to try and look at this with a clear mind. He got that race victory, but then what also did he do with the rest of his career? He had like what, 6 seasons in Formula 1, and he didn't get many points finishes in comparison. In consideration what teams he raced for, he should have definitely got at least double the amount of points that he did whilst he was in Formula 1. So next up is the worst driver of all time, Christian Klein. I mean, who supports him? He's got no fans. Sorry, Ryan. Just had to do it. I had to do it as a meme. Alright? Yeah, I thought just to put that on there as a bit of a joke. But Christian Klein, he did like a couple of races for HRT in 2010. He's not a bad driver, guys. He actually had quite a decent amount of results when he was at Toro Rosso, wasn't he? He wasn't terrible. He wasn't great by any means, but he definitely proved that he was good enough to maybe have a few more seasons in Formula 1. So yeah. I didn't know what I was really debating about whether I should put as top, the 5th person on my list. I wasn't really too sure because there are lots of drivers, like I said, Van der Garde, Peak. Those sort of people didn't really do much whilst they're in Formula 1, but then also they were in a terrible car, so it's a hard one to judge. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. As I said, this week I am going to be away, so apologies if I don't get around to responding to as many comments as I did in the past. I try to respond to as many of them as possible. Sometimes I just completely forget, so some videos you'll see no responses, and hopefully on the other videos you'll see pretty much every comment getting some sort of response, even if it's first. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Have an epic day. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Maybe you have the suggestions you can leave down in the comment section if you want to see any more top 5 videos. That'd be really awesome. Remember to leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed, and check out these videos on the top of your screen right now. If you have missed them, that'd be awesome if you can check them out. So yeah, that's been it. Thank you for watching. Have an epic day. It's been nice about it. Goodbye.